Does SQLite optimize a query with multiple and conditions in the where clause? In SQL databases, I use Python plus SQLite. How to make sure that, if we have 1 million rows, the query is optimized so that the first condition, CPU expensive, is only tested if the easy-to-test second condition is already true. Since it's a logical AND, is it a lazy AND? Example. If the first condition is always tested, it would require 1 million x 100 microseconds equals 100 seconds. If the second condition is tested first, then only 5,000 items would be pre-filtered, in my use case, and then, applying the first condition would be very fast. Note: column 2 is not necessary in id, it could be something else. In my use case, my function involves Levenshtein distance computation.
One way that you can force the order of execution is using a case expression. In general, SQL optimizers can rearrange operations. The one exception is case. Generally, case expressions are discouraged in where clauses. One major reason is that they impede optimization. In this case, that is a good thing.
Updated answer based on comments and subsequent testing. The actual answer to your question. How to make sure that, if we have 1 million rows, the query is optimized so that the first condition, CPU expensive, is only tested if the easy-to-test second condition is already true? Depends on the actual conditions in the where clause, and how clever the SQLite query optimizer is in estimating the cost of those conditions. A simple test should tell you whether your query would be sufficiently optimized for your needs. The good news is that SQLite will perform the easy, inexpensive, condition first, at least under certain circumstances. For a test table mutable, containing 1 million rows, the Python test code. Returns, and counting the lines in log_file.txt we see, indicating that our function was only called 1,000 times, not 1 million times. SQLite has clearly applied the column 2 is lower than 1,000 first, and then applied the my function description is lower than 500 condition on the subset of rows from the first condition. Original off-the-cuff answer. The actual answer to your question depends on how clever the query optimizer is. A simple test should tell you whether your query would be sufficiently optimized for your needs. However, you do have a couple of options if your tests find that your original approach is too slow. Option 1, try doing the simple comparison first. Changing the order might affect the query plan, for example. Might turn out to be faster than. Option 2, try forcing the order using a subquery. Again, depending on the cleverness of the query optimizer. Might apply the inexpensive condition first, then apply the expensive condition on the resulting subset of rows. However, a comment indicates that SQLite is too sophisticated to fall for that ploy.
SQLite will happily reorder and connected expressions whenever it feels like it. So while rewriting the query to check column 2 first appears to work in the current version, there is no guarantee. The query optimizer assumes that speed is determined mainly by disk I/O, so it estimates the cost of both conditions to be the same. Cost estimates are influenced by indexes, and by analyzed statistics, which work only for indexed data. So the easiest way to speed up this query, and probably most other queries you will use, is to create an index on column 2. If you do not want to use an index for some reason, you have to use a construct that the query optimizer cannot optimize away. A case expression as shown in Gordon's answer would work just fine. In the general case, move the first condition into a subquery and prevent subquery flattening by breaking one of the listed rules. Adding a dummy limit clause to both queries usually is easiest.
Inspired by Gore Thompson's answer, here is a benchmark between versus test 1, easy to test condition first, 1.02 seconds. Result, 1.02 seconds. It means that my func has been called max 1000 times, i.e. not for all the 10k rows. Test 2, slow to compute condition first, 10.05 seconds. Item width. Instead. Result, 10.05 seconds. It means that my func has been called 10k times, i.e. for all the 10k rows. Even those for which the condition call 2 is lower than 1000 is not true. Global conclusion, SQLite does lazy evaluation for and, i.e. the easy condition has to be written first like this.
This is a